All right, Twitter fam. I have not rewatched the fight because the narrative around this fight was I got my ass whooped. I won the first, third, and fifth round, and I challenge all you little dorks that think that I got my ass kicked to go and rewatch that fight. I know it's hard, non-biased, to rewatch it, whether you hate me or love me. Rewatch that fight, turn the commentary off, and tell me I did not win that fight. I won the first, third, and fifth. For real though, all you fucking little dorks, go rewatch that fight. Go rewatch that fight. I'm the champ, baby. I was a bitch still. Had to run around holding this little gut. But for real, round one, round three was close. Round 3 and 5, 2 judges gave it to me. Yeah, round 1 was clearly my round. Round 3 was a closer round. I still think it was my round. Round 1, I don't know how they gave it to Merab. I do not know how they gave it to Merab. You just look at the stat sheet. If he took me down a few times and literally did no damage. Tell me I'm wrong. Round 1, 3, and 5, I won that fight. That's just it. As simple as that. Round 1, 3, and 5. And I know you guys are thinking, the narrative of the whole fight after was I got my ass kicked. I didn't rewatch the fight. I was like, whatever. I just kept hearing that go around. Merab Maul's the champ. Go watch that fight. Go watch that fight. Merab's fucking terrified of Umnar. Doesn't want to fight Umnar. I don't know why. I mean, Umar's good. Umar's good. Don't get me wrong. But Merab is terrified. He's not the champ. I'm the champ. I would fight Umar next. I should fight Umar next for the belt. I'm the champ. I should defend my belt against Umar. I have to get surgery October 3rd. I'll be back probably June or July. I'm going to come back as quick as possible because I love this shit. I'm open for people's opinions. I am open for people's opinions. I messaged Joe Rogan. I said, Brother Joe, please rewatch that fight and tell me your honest opinion of that fight. Please. I'm telling you guys, you can't have Merab as the champ. He's boring as fuck. I just rewatched the fight. I tried to make it boring as possible. Tried getting up, defended. I got up. I actually stuffed more takedowns than Henry Cejudo. You guys know who that guy is? I had Merab running, sprinting from me, holding his guts, just praying the fight was over, staring at the clock. Woo! Round 1, 3, and 5. The champ is here. That fight was a close fight. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I dominated, but he for sure did not dominate, and I won that fight. Oh yeah, just watch it. Turn it off. Judge for yourself, and keep in mind we're judging off of damage. Keep in mind what damage is. Would you rather get boom hit with a left hand on the feet, or would you rather take 7 tickles to the fucking pickle from Merab? So let me know what you guys think. I'm the champ. Fuck Merab. I'll be back defending my belt against Umar. Deuces.
Bro thinks he's Nick Diaz. 135 Sean O'Malley. Okay, Sean O'Malley could be trolling here. He could be joking around. O'Malley's doing his usual, or at least what I think, half joking, half serious kind of thing here. Similar to what he did with the whole undefeated shtick after losing to Chito Vera, which was based in reality, and he actually believed what he was saying. Yeah, he's joking he's undefeated, but at the same time, he does believe that Chito won by a fluke. And the thing about like fighting Umar, yeah, I'm joking about being the champion and defending my belt, but I'm going to be fighting in July after I get the surgery on my hip, fighting Umar because Merab doesn't want to fight Umar. It's like, okay, that half is logical. Like that's actually rational to believe that. But the first half is like, okay, obviously you're joking around. Then he jokes around saying, I'm the champ, where's my belt, all this stuff. And then says, no, but for real though, anybody who wants to give me any kind of feedback, if you believe that I didn't win 1, 3, and 5, I would love to hear your opinion on that. And also I would like to talk to Joe Rogan as well, as his opinion matters to me and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know, man. I do kind of believe he is being serious somewhat, either to cope with the loss, or he rewatched the fight and logically came to the conclusion that he won 1, 3, and 5. I think a troll would be like if he said he won rounds 2 and 4. That would be a bigger troll. Like, that would be like, okay, man. With O'Malley, it's like, is he joking? I mean, the stuff he's saying doesn't sound like a fighter would joke about. It sounds like a fighter who's delusional. Kind of how, like, Jamal Hill said, yo, I didn't get knocked out, kind of thing. Or he's just completely trolling around, and I don't know. I don't even know the point of it, honestly. He's not going to get a rematch. And with Colby Covington, Colby did it to pretty much save his fighting career because they were going to cut him. So he played that whole character, and he was trying to get a rematch with Kamaru Usman after doing very well the first time. And that's why he was doing his whole thing as well. With Sean O'Malley, it's like, what's the point if he is actually joking? So I'm going to go into it in case he isn't trolling around, and he actually believes some of what he's saying. And if he is trolling, then I guess this is my kind of opinion as to why O'Malley didn't win the fight. He believes he won the first, third, and fifth round against Merab Dvalishvili. I thought he was joking. I honestly thought he was joking when he was saying things like, Merab is so boring, who wants him as champ and stuff like that. But then he said, no, for real though, I do think I won 1, 3, and 5 if you look at damage and stuff like that. Well, neither of them really caused damage. I don't understand what this damage aspect he's talking about. I mean, did he land the harder shots? Arguably, but was it enough to beat some of the effective grappling from Merab? I watched the fight a few times. Other than the knees to the thigh, which really don't mean anything for Merab, in the first round, he did go for the guillotine. He did get a takedown. He did land some ground and pound with his hands. He landed some punches on the head too. I think there was that one right straight to the body from Sean O'Malley, and Merab hit him with a clean left hook. It wasn't like Merab landed no punches either. In the first round, it did look like Sean O'Malley was winning up until the first takedown. When Merab landed the first takedown, onward, he started to win the rest of the round. And I think, I have to go back and look at the fight again, but the guillotine attempt, which he did have, he got a takedown off of that, got on top of Sean O'Malley with it, which is the definition of effective grappling. The first takedown, he landed some punches. That's counted in effective grappling as well. He landed some punches in the stand-up. And when you look at the third round, O'Malley did land some clean shots toward the end of it, like a left hand, a knee, but Merab took him down and landed knees up against the fence, knees to the head, landed some punches in the stand-up as well. I scored that fight 49-46 for Merab. I gave Sean O'Malley the 5th round. You have to give O'Malley the 5th round. The first and third round were kind of competitive, I guess, but not enough to give Sean O'Malley the win in those rounds. The second and fourth, 100% go to Merab. First and third, I thought clearly went to Merab, although O'Malley did have some moments in those rounds, but not enough for him to win. When we talk about damage in the scoring criteria, that's not everything. Effective grappling is just as important. But in a lot of these fights, we don't see the same level of effective grappling as we did with effective striking. When a fighter is going for submissions, when a fighter gets a takedown and lands ground and pound, when a fighter slams the opponent, and there's different ways to look at effective grappling and seeing how it could trump effective striking. When both fighters are not really damaging each other with their shots like that, and then one fighter gets a guillotine or landing knees to the head up against the fence, like that kind of stuff is also going to factor in who wins these rounds. It's not just one aspect, right? Effective striking and effective grappling are equal to each other. Merab landed some shots of his own while also having effective grappling on his side as well. When a fighter is doing both, it's definitely going to help them on the scoring, right? The judge is going to be looking at, oh, this guy's landing some punches, some knees, some kicks, and he's getting a takedown, and he's going for a guillotine, and he's landing ground and pound. It's like, okay, this guy's probably winning this fight unless he's getting smoked in the stand-up alone. The striking was not even one-sided at all. Even if O'Malley won the striking itself in the first and third rounds, off of what I remember from the fight, it wasn't enough to beat what Merab did in totality with his striking and his grappling. And how dare Sean O'Malley use the 1-3-5? He ain't Nick Diaz getting a close decision loss to Carlos Condit, which still to this day a lot of people thought that Nick Diaz won the fight. That's a fight when one of the fighters can say, I won that fight, but not Sean O'Malley versus Merab. I picked Sean O'Malley to win. I thought he was going to beat Merab. But when I watched the fight, there's no way I can give it to Sean O'Malley. I like Sean O'Malley's style better. I like the way that he strikes out there. But he absolutely lost that fight. I don't know if it's just because, like, he hates Merab or he actually believes that he won or he's confused on the scoring of fights and stuff like that. I don't know if he thinks that damage is the only thing that matters. It's the main thing that matters when we're only looking at striking. And when I do the Who Really Won videos and I say damage trumps all, I say that because there's really not much grappling in these rounds. And I know that from the fight. But if there is grappling in the rounds, like for example Cyril Gane versus Francis Ngannou, I mentioned how effective grappling is also very important as well. I don't know why O'Malley would come out with excuses like that, because he was doing well in the post-fight press conference and his podcast after. It looked like he was dealing with the loss very well and he was going to learn and stuff like that, but now he's reached the delusional state, believing that he won the fight. I mean, come on, O'Malley. You went from like very humble, very respectful after the fight, not delusional, you know, realistic with the loss and stuff, to one of the most delusional things we ever heard from a fighter who lost a decision. Because I believe even his own fans don't want to hear that. The vast majority of people watch that fight believe that Merab won. It seems like most people believe that Merab dominated. There's absolutely no way O'Malley won the fight, or the fight was even close. Most people believe that the 48-47 scorecard was ridiculous. There were two scorecards that were 48-47 for Merab Dvalishvili, whereas most people had it 49-46. Sean O'Malley coming out there and saying that he won the fight, watch 1, 3, and 5. It's not going to help anything. Excuses like that are just not good for a fighter who's trying to promote himself as a superstar, right? Sean O'Malley believes he's one of the biggest stars in the sport. He said he was going to rival Conor McGregor. Saying that you won the fight against Merab Dvalishvili is only going to do the opposite. Like, if O'Malley got a knockdown in the first round and he rocked Merab in the third and stuff, okay, then it makes a lot more sense. Yeah, absolutely Sean O'Malley won that fight, but he didn't do that. He landed a couple shots, and none of them rocked Merab. None of them hurt him. One of the left hands knocked his head back. One of the knees seemed to have grazed him. I have to look at that knee again, but he's like completely dismissing all of the striking that Merab did in those 2 rounds. Now, I know a lot of people point to the stats. Merab outlanded Sean O'Malley in almost every single round, but the numbers aren't going to be that important. It depends on how much impact these shots have. And it's not like Merab had no impact on his shots relative to Sean O'Malley's. The striking itself was close, and in both of those rounds was close. You might be able to give him to O'Malley on the feet, but he's completely dismissing everything Merab did with his grappling and every shot that Merab landed on the feet. And it just point to Merab as he only landed knees to the leg is very biased, because that's not all he did with his grappling at all. That was like the smallest thing he did with his grappling. It's just overlooking the guillotine, the takedown itself, the punches with his hands, the knees in the 3rd round to the head. That's like overlooking all of that stuff, as he only landed knees to the leg. Now, the knees to the leg could be pointed to, okay, maybe the guy's boring or he's not fun to watch. That's different. But pointing to that as to him losing the rounds is crazy. And O'Malley's saying that he's going to be fighting Umar Nurmagomedov next. O'Malley, whether we agree that Umar should get a title shot or not, he's going to get the title shot. Dana already said it. Most of the people want Umar to get a title shot as well. The 2 opponents for Sean O'Malley are Corey Sandhagen or Henry Cejudo. That's it. There's no Umar. There's no Merab rematch. I want to see O'Malley versus Sandhagen. It's a fight that we've been wanting for a long time, but we do know that the bigger fight would be Henry Cejudo. Former champion, these 2 guys have been talking about each other for a while. He's the bigger star, you know, he's the overall the bigger fight for Sean O'Malley, and I think he would rather fight that guy. He's also the easier fight of the 2. Maybe, because if O'Malley's getting taken down by Merab like that, maybe Henry Cejudo, not injured, could wrestle his way to a decision against Sean O'Malley as well. Because he did take down Merab, and in the 1st round, before he started gassing out, he was winning the fight. He rocked Merab on the feet with a left hook. His wrestling looked really good. He defended takedowns, took Merab down. Like, Cejudo's doing so well in the 1st round, but he said that he was injured in the fight. That caused him to gas out a bit. We've never seen Cejudo gas out in the 2nd round before. And it wasn't like Merab was putting a crazy pace, like a 5-round pace after 1 round on Henry Cejudo. Considering this guy's been 5 rounds before at a very fast pace. Look at the fight with Marlon Moraes. That fight was crazy. And it was Cejudo that drowned Moraes. To see Merab, after 1 round of losing, gas out Henry Cejudo after he got rocked and taken down and stuffed his takedowns and stuff, I don't believe that Cejudo was gassed out because Merab pushed the pace on him. So maybe Henry Cejudo could get a win here against Sean O'Malley, because O'Malley doesn't fight in a crazy pace that Cejudo's never fought against before. You know, he fought DJ and Moraes and all these other guys. But I do think overall that Corey Sandhagen is the more difficult fight for Sean O'Malley, because he's the guy that could strike with him and develop this wrestling enough to take him to the ground and win that way as well. We've been talking a lot about like strikers versus wrestlers in the sport, and Corey Sandhagen is one of the few strikers that learn how to wrestle at a respectable level. So he would be the more well-rounded fighter, and if he beat O'Malley, Corey could find his way into a title shot. And as a Corey Sandhagen fan, I would love to see that. But people say that Corey's been boring in his last few fights, and I agree he has, but after his Peter Yan fight and how he used to fight, I think I'll always be a Sandhagen fan. Now, here's the thing. If Sean O'Malley is trolling and he's just joking around and trying to get people to bite on that narrative, to spread that content, bravo to Sean O'Malley, but I don't understand what he gets out of it. When Colby Covington did it, when Chael Sonnen did it, it was for logical reasons. Colby was beating Kamaru Usman before he got TKO'd, right? He was talking about the groin shot and all that stuff and how he was winning the fight. Like, he wasn't super far out with what he was saying. When Chael Sonnen was trash talking about fighting Anderson Silva, he was winning that fight. Him walking around with the belt saying he's the middleweight champion is because he was winning a fight and then he got submitted in the 5th round. So there's some kind of logic there, right? With Sean O'Malley, it's like, you're only going to sound delusional. I mean, there are some people that believe that he won, but most people are not going to believe that he won. Like when Chael Sonnen would say that he was undefeated and undisputed, obviously everybody knew he wasn't undefeated. But when people would ask him about it, what do you mean you're undefeated? You lost this many times. And all Chael would say is, nope, never happened. Did you ever see the fight? Where'd you see the fight? Show me the fight. And if they couldn't show him there and then he'd say, of course it never happened. With Sean O'Malley, he's like, no, I won the 1st, 3rd, and 5th round because of damage and I landed body shots. He didn't land anything. All he did was wrestle, and takedowns don't really matter when there's damage in a round, which is all true. What he's saying is true according to the scoring criteria, but not what he did. It's like way too close to reality than what Chael was saying. That's why it's not like the same thing. It's very, very different. Either that or I'm on the spectrum. I don't know. But I don't know, man. I think he believes in it somewhat, until a lot of people tell him you're just being delusional, you got CTE, whatever, you know, a bunch of what the fans are telling him right now. Then he's gonna be like, yo, I was just trolling. I was just joking, guys. Of course, I didn't beat Merab. Of course, I didn't win 1, 3, and 5. I won 3 and 5 and could have won round 1. I was injured, and I was a lot lighter than usual. These are actual excuses that his coach made, but so I don't know, man. Maybe he is trolling. Maybe he's just joking around. And I'm too used to like the Chill Sonnens and the Colby Covingtons and the Conor McGregors and stuff, where the jokes were actually like ridiculous and hilarious. But with Sean O'Malley, it's like even when he's joking and trolling, it's still lacking a lot of that flair and personality. It's like a Walmart ripoff of Chill Sonnen without the actual formula of how he made it funny.